Hello, welcome to this episode of Wand and Crown. I'm Haley. We've switched it again.
No, you had it right.
Oh, on my screen it's opposite. Anyway, Keeley's in the other box. This week, this episode is going to be about the behind the scenes tour over in Epcot. Now, if you've seen our Enchanting Extras episode, you know that this is one of those extra paid tours that Disney offers around the parks. There are other ones. I think there's a
Keys to the Kingdom.
Keys to the Kingdom.
Charlotte Safari. Yeah, there's a bunch. Go check out that episode. We'll link it.
This is one of the more affordable ones. It comes in around $39 to $49 per person plus tax, depending on the date that you're doing it. Basic refresher, you have to be at least 3 years old to do it. If you're under 18, you have to have a parent or guardian with you when you do it. It is a behind the scenes tour of the greenhouses. There's 4 greenhouses and the it's not an aquarium, but it's like a fish farm area that make up the Living with the Land ride. It's an hour long. There's maybe about 15 people in each group. It's not a big group, so it's not like you're taking this massive tour.
That's good because you can ask questions too. Like it's easier to ask questions and stuff. Yeah.
So I did this with my friend Allie in November 24. First time for both of us doing it. We're both Living with the Land stands. We really enjoy the ride. Really wish that we had been able to do their they started this past year a holiday tour, so you could do it at night with the lights. We couldn't quite swing that. We were like about a week too early for that, but this was still very fun. We both really enjoyed it. So basically when you're doing this, you meet up at it's not quite right next to Living with the Land. It's kind of off to the side over by Soarin'. You're gonna meet up there about 15 minutes before your tour is supposed to start. Get checked in, sign the fun little waiver that says you're not going to do stupid things.
Touch what you're not supposed to touch. Go in the water.
Don't jump out at any of the boats because it is an active ride while you're touring it. And then you wait for it to start.
Real quick. So you said you meet kind of in between Living with the Land and where do you get that information from? Do they tell you that when you book it or
Yeah, so it's similar to most of the things that you buy with Disney. They'll send you an email as soon as you book that says, hey, here's when you booked it, here's how much you paid, obviously. Here's the time that it's for. Make sure that you are wearing closed-toed shoes. Make sure that you're going to be walking. So if you're not able to walk, maybe we'll get you a refund and you can't do this. Here's, meet 15 minutes beforehand. All
gotcha. Okay.
Fun stuff. And then it, of course, reminds you that your park ticket is not included in this. So if you haven't bought a park ticket, you're not going to be able to get in. So make sure that you have a park ticket.
At least there's not reservations for most people anymore because that was another layer to it. So at least that's gone. But
although both Allie and I are annual pass holders, so we did have to make reservations.
Okay, that's why I put the caveat of like most people.
But we bought it and then immediately made it. No, anyway. So yes, you figured out. They send you an email and they send you a reminder email like right before.
Good.
Like, hey, remember you got to get there 15 minutes early.
And does it pop up on your My Disney experience, like your plans for the day?
It does. Okay. Cool. Yeah, which is very nice because it gives for anxiety people, anxious people like myself and you, and also again Allie. It's nice to have that little extra reassurance that everything is taken care of and you're good to go.
And then like that way too, when you're planning, like if you're buying lightning lanes that day,
Yes.
you can plan it around, or like you grab a last minute reservation, it's like all laid out for you and you can see it in one spot, not have to like do the mental math, because that makes me more anxious when I have to like compare or like remember. I'm like, if it's in one spot, it makes me really happy.
No, and if you're doing lightning lanes, it does that whole thing, kind of like if you have
overlapping.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. That's nice.
Don't book your dinner at this time because you've also got this.
You can just eat the cucumbers on the ride, on the tour.
Which you can.
Okay, yes. You can when they tell you can. Don't do it when they don't tell you.
Yeah. Anyway, when you go on the ride, they take you immediately back into this kind of, not really holding room, but holding room, where they give you headsets and, well, you get your lanyard when you first check in, but they'll give you little headsets so that you can be tuned into the frequency, because there are going to be areas when you're walking through where your guide is 10 people ahead of you, or you're around kind of equipment that's louder and you can't necessarily hear them too well. So you've got the fun little
You're like a CIA agent. Yeah.
Or like Miss Underheimer from Lizzie McGuire.
Oh, okay. I was like, where are you going with? Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, just have
a little flag. You're not following the flag, but anyway.
You're not in Italy either, but like, hey.
I mean, just go a few millions down and you're
right? You're only like a half a mile from Italy, really.
Yeah. So you go back. She kind of tells you all about what the tour is going to be. Reminds you of those things that you're going to do.
The rules and
don't step in the sand, et cetera, et cetera. And then she talks about what they do at Living with the Land, because it is, while it is a ride, it is also a working greenhouse laboratory. It is science personified.
Functioning. Yeah. Why did I struggle to say that? Yeah.
Yes, it is functioning. So they show you at the very beginning, kind of, they're trying to find ways to get rid of pests without using pesticides, which are, natural deterrents. So things like, I don't remember exactly what they were, but it was like a wasp will eat all of the larvae that a certain fly will leave in a plant, which then makes the larva not eat the entire plant and kill the entire plant.
Fun.
She did also, like, it was an entire wall full of these things.
Yeah.
And she was like, you guys can go up and go look at it. And I was like, I'm just gonna, the description, perfect. I got it.
Yep. Don't need visuals.
Need to see the flies crawling. Don't need to see the wasps. I'm glad there are locks on there because I don't like wasps. Mm-mm. Anyway, excuse me, still getting over a cold. Not the same one as the last video.
We're just perpetually sick. I have a baby and you're just around a bunch of babies.
It's the season of life. So after that, you leave the building. You go really into a real backstage area.
Okay.
They show you one of, like, a kind of glimpse into one of the labs, and tells you about, there's something that you can buy right out at the desk when you check in. It's like a growing gel. So you can buy a seed and put it in the growing gel and you can take it home.
Okay.
So again, talks to you about all of the things that they're learning how to do and make that be more efficient to help things grow better. There's going to be a theme throughout this, helping things grow better. And then you get to go into the greenhouses where the rides are.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm a nerd, so obviously. So, like, I have seen these tours taking place, never had a chance to do it, or didn't want to go by myself, whatever. So I've, like, taken pictures of people, and now I was, like, on the other side, and I was, like, taking pictures of the boats, and I'm like, you can do this too. This is awesome. Yeah.
I think we saw one I think every time we've gone together, we've seen one and we're like, we need to do that. And then you got to do it. I'll do it eventually.
I'll go again.
Yeah, right.
It's only $40. Like, really, this is an affordable tour.
And I think it's cool.
This stuff. Like, even if you haven't been on Living with the Land, but you really enjoy kind of seeing, like, if you're a science person that likes gardening, if you like learning about sustainability, helping the earth while also feeding people, this is a tour
yeah,
you enjoy.
Exactly. And I think it's cool, and I'm sure you'll touch on this, but they have the signs throughout, especially when they have the festivals, like what foods are going to what booths, and then Garden Grills right there. So like a lot of the food from the greenhouses are what you're eating at Garden Grill. So yeah, it's just like, even if you're into like that aspect of it, I think that's even really cool to like do the tour.
And she does mention that, I mean, I keep saying she, our tour guide obviously was a she. I'm sure there are some that are men. I don't know. But so she did touch on that like the things that are grown in these greenhouses do go out to different restaurants around Epcot, around Disney property. There is a point where you do get to try a slice of a cucumber, which tasted like a cucumber, but it was an Epcot.
It's a Disney cucumber. Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. It was wonderful. I have a video. You can see it. We'll put it. So you learn about kind of hydroponic growing systems. There's different types of hydroponic growing systems. So there's like the full on, you're in a tank, or the roots are hanging in a tank. There's one where the plants are hanging and they kind of like go through this, they're on a conveyor belt, and their roots get sprayed. So they're not just soaking up the water, because different plants require different things. The roots would rot if they had that much water, and so on and so forth.
So you got to see, because they have that whole hydroponic room. So they have like I'm trying to think. They have like the ones that it looks like a bird feeder with like the different it's like PVC piping. And then they have I think it's like, is it like iceberg lettuce? They have one that's like a slope.
The one that's always in the hidden Mickey, or it says Epcot. Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah.
It 100% is. You just haven't noticed it.
I know. I'm like,
yeah, usually one side will be it'll be like the purple is the hidden Mickey and there's green around it. And then the other side will be the Epcot logo in purple with the green around it. But they pick them at different times. So one of them is usually like kind of growing and you can't really make out the design.
Okay.
Like, whoa, design.
Wait, did you know that before this tour, or did you learn that on the tour?
I knew that before the tour because I'm observant.
Whatever. Just trying to enjoy the ride.
And I was a nerd as a child, and I had that Hidden Mickey's book, so that was always
on. Okay, all right, fine. So, okay, well, on that, then, did they tell you like any like fun Hidden Mickey? I mean, there's a lot on the ride. I'm not gonna say a lot, but there are kind of a good amount on the ride. Did they show you like any ones that you didn't know of, or like anything?
No.
Okay, did they point them out for those that didn't know about them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't point out the giant one with the hoses on the floor and the fish.
That one's extremely
obvious. They did point out the one in the shrimp.
In the tank.
Yeah. She did point out the lettuce heads. So, yeah. Now, you are also kind of learning about plants that aren't, I'm sorry, I have to mention this one. You are learning about plants that aren't necessarily edible. Plants that aren't necessarily edible because they're ones that teach, by observing them, they teach us ways that we could better help other plants. So there's a plant, I cannot remember what it's called. I think it's like the shaking plant.
Interesting.
I'm gonna use my
notes?
Not shaking plant. My notes, theoretically my iPad would be telling me what it is right now because my phone does when I look at the picture of this, but apparently my iPad doesn't want to do that. Shame plant. No. Called a shame plant, which is hysterical because it has it looks like a fern. It looks like a giant fern, and leaves are all like, covered. It looks like a bush. And then when you shake it, it does this. Or if you like touch it, and so then the water can get down to its roots. So they look at it and they're like, okay, how can we implement this in other ways? The one that they have is their pet shame plant, and his name is Stanley, and I love him.
Oh, in the promos, you said something about Stanley, and I'm like, what is she talking about, Stanley? Okay, so you learned that on the tour because you didn't know that.
I didn't know that. No.
Ah, got you.
I didn't say I knew everything that was on the tour.
You knew like 90% of it.
No. I didn't know 90% of it. Like maybe 87%. No, I didn't. I really did. I did learn a lot. But I also have a goldfish brain, so a lot of the really detailed facts that we learned I have since forgotten, which is why I would love to go on this again with you. Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else to say other than like you learn a lot. You do go into the fish. It's not hydroponic, but it's, what is it? It's just the hybrid fish area. The giant red area. If it is around the time that they are supposed to be fed, there are a few people in the group that get the chance to feed them. A few other people got their hands up before I did. Otherwise, I would have done that.
Rude.
I know.
I should have known you were on the tour.
It's okay. It's fine. Whatever. They really wanted to do it, so. And then you end the tour over, well, I mean, you end it back up where you started, but you end the informative part of the tour over by this giant coffee tree that is shaped like Mickey, which is...
Oh, that one. Okay. Yep.
And then your guide will talk to you about the different kinds of spices that come around or that are available to the world, what the most expensive ones are, what the most populous ones are. Most expensive one obviously is saffron, because it is, if you've ever looked at how they get saffron, I think it's the stamen from a plant. So it's like, the flower, you get the little things. They have to individually pick. That's what the saffron is. So it takes time and effort to collect it. That's why saffron is as expensive as it is.
Yeah. So it's like pollen, essentially, saffron.
Basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cinnamon is up there because it's the bark of a tree, so you have to like shave it essentially.
That's where I guess the cinnamon sticks come from. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was cloves or cardamom were also up there, and nutmeg. Like basically all of the Christmas things are really expensive. So
anything that's in chai tea is expensive.
Yeah. So, you finish up with that. She offers to take pictures in front of the Mickey.
That would be so cool at Christmas time if you did that one, because they put the nose on them.
I know. It's not that one. It's not that one, because that one's on the other side and you can't access it because you have to walk through the sand.
Okay. I thought you
might do up that one as well.
Okay.
I'm not sure. This one is kind of off. So if you're...
I'm like literally picturing it in my head.
It's kind of exactly opposite that, but on the other side and kind of...
in the first greenhouse.
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
First greenhouse. Because you do this ride essentially backwards. So the tour is
when you
start at the end and go through and then you come back.
I was going to say the way you described it was backwards. So yeah. Okay. See, when you said where the fish are, my first thought was because as soon as you come through that tunnel, that's where that big Mickey. Okay, but it's on. Got it. Okay.
Other side. It's when this is gonna be kind of niche. When you are there for the festivals, there's an area where they have like kind of a display for like the festival spices and whatnot. That's on your right hand side. It's like kind of right behind that.
Okay.
So it is
Okay.
from the boat kind of hidden, but
I sadly know exactly what you're talking about.
of course. Of course you do.
Of course. Okay, so now I'm making a mental note for the next time I go, which might be in a few weeks if we meet up. Then yeah, I'm gonna check to see.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I know.
But still, I feel like doing the glimmering greenhouses one might be really cool too, though.
That is next on my list. Like, I want to do this one again so I can like really kind of listen. I like this time I was listening, but I was also focused on trying to take pictures and videos for clients if they want to go, so that I can kind of show them what it is. I want to go for me.
Yeah.
And the next time, but I also really, really want to do the Christmas time one. I have a feeling that this one, the premiere tour of it, was popular enough that Disney will continue doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's an after dark one, so you get to see all of the lights that they decorate the greenhouses with during the holiday season. And that's going to be next because it's so pretty.
Like, so pretty.
Lights during the winter are just, they're my favorite.
And it's nice and warm too. So you get to see the lights and you're not cold.
That too, unless you're in Florida right now when it's freezing, but.
Yeah, which is still better than here. I mean, we're covered under like 6 inches of snow, so.
Yeah, we have ice here.
So I'd rather be freezing in Florida where there's neither of those things.
Yeah. Seconded. They do also use, they do use some of the things that are grown in the greenhouses at the festival booths at the various festivals, which is another super cool thing. And usually you will see kind of like a notation on the festival booth and they will have things up throughout the ride that say, this is used in this festival booth, this is used in, so yeah, that's all I've got. What questions do you have?
So I know I feel like I've asked a good amount during.
Yeah.
I do know, and this is I think for pretty much all Enchanting extras, is kids have to be 3 and over, because again, it's usually tied to having to have a ticket to the parks.
Yeah.
What is a good starting age? Because I don't think a 4-year-old would I don't want to say listen, but like little kids, they want to go play in the sand, they want to do stuff. What do you think is like probably a good starting age where maybe not necessarily the kids would have an interest, but they would be able to just kind of like hang and be able to listen, and at least, if their parents really want to do it, or older sibling or whatever. What do you think is like a good starting age for this tour specifically?
For in general, I would say probably 10 or 11, because it is an hour-long tour. So younger than that, they may be able to like hang out with their parents and be fine, not running off into the sand and doing things they aren't supposed to, but they would get bored fairly quickly. Yeah. I think 10 or 11, you'd really be able to not only stay where you're supposed to, not touch the things that you aren't supposed to, but they wouldn't necessarily get bored as quickly. And at that time, kids are really starting to develop their interests and would know if they are interested in this.
Yeah. And I'm sure the tour guides do a good job at like trying to incorporate stuff with the kids, because you're still in Disney at the end of the day. So there's still a lot of kids. So I feel like they're used to trying to.
We didn't have any on our tour.
Okay.
It was mostly, I think there were probably a few people that were about Allie's and my age, if not a little bit younger.
Okay.
And then everyone else was probably 40s, 50s and up. There was a gentleman who had a wheelchair. He was able to get around with a cane, so he was fine. He didn't have the mobility issue just around the park in general. So I mean, it was probably mid 20s to 70s. There were not younger kids there.
Yeah, and I think it's like you said, it's kind of like sciencey, kind of like more informational than like fun and rides and like it is, but it's not. So yeah, I feel like it's probably better for like adults.
I would say it's probably better for adults if you have like a kid that's really into that, like, because obviously there are kids that are like super nerdy, super like niche interests that really enjoy that stuff. If you know, same thing we always say, if you know your kids best, if you know that your kid's like really into this kind of stuff,
then they'll probably love it.
They will love it. Like if they're really into gardening, really into science and learning out like the way that things work and all that, they will absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I feel
like not a moment that I was bored.
Yeah.
All. And I have ADHD, so.
You're like a kid yourself. There you go. And then typically, not typically, but Enchanting extras can be booked at midnight, 60 days out from check-in. Is that when you guys booked it, or like when did you book it?
You know, I booked it at 7 a.m.
Okay, so with dining. I think most Enchanting extras are like that. I really think the only ones, obviously, like Bippity Boppity Boutique is very much like midnight. You need to be on. Starlight Safari at Animal Kingdom Lodge is another one that like that goes quick. I got it for clients like 2 years ago, but that goes quick. I feel like this might be one
goes that quickly because it is
more informational.
Yeah, it's more informational. And I mean, they've got a few tours throughout the day. And I lost my train of thought. So yeah.
Was the Glimmering Greenhouses, was that a separate Enchanting extra? So you have the just behind the scenes tour, and then like the behind the scenes tour at Glimmering Greenhouses, that's like a separate one that you would book?
Yeah, you would. Okay. You would know that it was that. Also based on the time, because it would be after dark. Excuse me.
True.
But it
I'm going for people
take place in specific times. Like it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were there the first week of November. It started the second week of November.
Of course, because why would it start when you're there? Why would that happen? I'm sorry. Christmas starts at November 1st or on November 1st at 12:01 a.m. p.m. I can never remember.
And that's coming from the Halloween queen herself. So
yeah, there's no there. I'm sorry, you just go right from Halloween to Christmas.
Yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights. Oh my god, I have to bring it up. Sorry. Every episode.
So close.
Nah. But yeah, I think that's another thing too to think about is like if this is, I don't want to say, I don't think it's going to be a make or break tour for people, but if it is something you're interested in, kind of plan your trip around that. So maybe plan it when you're fully into the holiday season. If you want to do the Glimmering Greenhouses one, that's like, because our trip this year, we're going in the beginning of December. So we're like in the safe zone for that. But we'll have Lucas and he's going to be 1.5, almost 2.
Well, you can't.
We can't, and he wouldn't go for it anyway. Yeah. That's why there's age restrictions, is because of people trying to bring 2-year-olds on the tour.
Yeah.
And I would not want to hold him for an hour.
No, absolutely not. He would be a wiggle.
You know what I could do? Cody could watch him, and I'll just go on the tour. There we go. Like that plan. Perfect.
During that time, go have fun.
Well, he'd be in bed. There we go. Go after bedtime. There we go. All right. Well, I want to go now, like more than ever. So thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, I think that's it.
Go and then you learn stuff for clients, then it's basically free because you're paying yourself to learn that. You know what I'm trying to say? It's girl math. Works in
girl math. Yeah. Girl math. We're good at girl math.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Just ask our wallets.
Yeah, exactly. We're good at it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah. That's all I've got.
I think I've asked all my questions.
Pictures, trust me, I took so many.
Oh yeah, because you're behind the scenes. You have to.
Yeah. I do still. Oh no, I don't still have my lanyard. Shoot. I thought I saved my lanyard for like a hot second. I was really excited.
How would you get rid of that?
I had to turn it back into them.
Oh, ew, no, just don't steal it. I wasn't about to say that. Don't do that.
Oh no, it dropped off
I lost it. Oh no. And then just run away. Like they don't have your information to know who you are.
Get banned from Disney for
stealing. Ignore my AP that I used to book this tour. It's fine. Okay. Well, now that we're not encouraging you to steal from Disney, I think that's the end of this episode.
All right. We will see you next time on Wand and Crown. Have a wonderful rest of your day, night, morning, whatever you're doing while you're watching this. Bye.